Hello, everybody. Welcome in to the NBA Front Office Show. It's Friday. You know what that means.
Front Office Friday! Almost the lottery edition.
Almost the lottery edition coming up on Sunday. What are we doing, NBA? Putting the draft lottery on Mother's Day. It's like they just want to put all of us in a difficult position with our wives, mothers on Sunday. But that's what the NBA said. You're making us choose between family and basketball, NBA. Why? Why are we doing this?
I have talked about this before. My wife's birthday regularly falls on the NBA draft. Even worse now that it's a 2-night draft. So that is like a thing. And then our wedding anniversary is often when the season starts. So when I am eventually divorced and living with you in your guest room, we'll all know why.
My wife and I got married in October during what normally was fall break for teaching. And okay, cool. We're going to have, every year we'll have our anniversary and I'll be off from my job. Nope. now it's right when the league picks up again and we get preseason games and all that kind of stuff happening. That is where it falls now. So yeah, it's not ideal, but we do have the lottery coming up. Of course, we're going to spin the wheel on today's show. We'll see. It'll be our final spin. We'll see ultimately what we come up with. But as you guys know, Friday's show, this is your show. You guys let us know what to talk about. We're going to get into your questions, your comments. You guys direct things here. And let's start here. Loaded question right off the bat. If you personally could pick the teams, oh boy, that end up in the top 5, who would you pick?
Uh
And here's for anybody who doesn't remember off top of their head or anything like that. Here is the current order as it stands. This is the way things look right now. Washington, Indiana, Brooklyn, Utah, Sacramento, Memphis, Atlanta has the Pels. Atlanta has the better of the Pels pick or the Bucks pick, and then it goes from there.
Not the Thunder. Anybody but
obviously
them.
I think that is universal. Not that would be, Keith. I thought so. Last year's draft lottery, I thought the worst possible outcome for the NBA was the Mavs getting the number 1 pick, because, and I said that going in, not in hindsight, that was the worst possible outcome for the NBA because it would immediately look like something fishy was going on.
Sure.
Whether or not there anything, people will have their feelings about that, but that would be the perception, was that something fishy was going on because the Luka trade had just happened, and people would link those two things. And lo and behold, that's what happened. Going into this draft, the worst possible thing that could happen to the NBA would be the Thunder moving up in the draft lottery.
Yeah, I agree. And this is not, despite what someone accused us in the comments on our last show of hating the Thunder and being ridiculous about them. They just don't need it. Like I'd rather see the pick go to a team that needs it. Like I always say the Thunder need another high draft pick. Like I need another cookie. Like they just don't need it. Like it's just not, necessary for them to still be awesome and dominant. So, I'm not going to put them in any real order other than the order they just kind of came to my head. So Utah and Indiana, because Utah's never moved up in a single lottery. It feels like it's time for that to happen. Indiana's never had the number 1 pick. So, okay, let's see. Washington, because I think Washington was mostly just bad. I think they were typically bad. Yeah, they probably could have played Trae Young and AD and won a handful more games, but I don't know that it was going to change them drastically where they would have fallen. Memphis, just because I like the city. I like the Grizzlies. I'd like to see them be good. And then I went back and forth between Kings fans and Bulls fans. I think Kings fans are a lot more tortured than Bulls fans are, even if Bulls fans have struggled. So I'll throw Sacramento in that grouping too.
So I'm going to be very biased in this, but
I know where this is going.
Yeah, I mean, it was a disaster for the NBA what's happened the last couple of years, where Zach Reaves went to an East team, Wemby and Cooper Flag went to West teams. You sit down and you make a list of the top 10 players in the NBA. It is overwhelmingly players in the West. They've got to get talent into the Eastern Conference. They've got to get star level players into the Eastern Conference. Given the quality of this draft, and again, my own bias is going to come in here. Of course, I'm a fan of a Western Conference team, but you've got to get things spread out a bit more, and you've got to get some of the top young talent into the East. It's just so heavily tilted in terms of the top players. There's been a lot more parity around the league in terms of the quality of the teams between East and West than we've seen in decades, frankly. But again, sit down and make a list of the top 10 players in the NBA. They're almost all Western Conference players. So I'm going to obviously skew things towards the East. In that regard, obviously, again, I'll come across super biased. Important that Indiana keeps their pick, doesn't wind up in the hands of the Clippers. Want to see Washington, want to see Brooklyn, want to see the Hawks. These are the teams, the Chicago Bulls. Those are the teams that I want to see get the top picks in this draft class. That said, from an emotional level and not big picture what's best for the NBA level, I find myself mostly feeling for the Sacramento Kings, the Memphis Grizzlies. These are the clubs that I look at and I think that team could really use a bit of luck and a number one pick here. So that's where I'm torn in all of this, looking at the balance around the league or the imbalance around the league and understanding that the East needs to get these top players, but also the teams that I'm more drawn towards in terms of actually, feeling for them. It is teams like the Kings. It's like the Grizz, what they've gone through with John Morant and that whole situation and everything else that's gone on there. It's those types of clubs that I'm more drawn towards, wanting to see keep their pick or get the top picks.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think for the Kings, Kings fans are great. Like there's no other way to put it, because or they're complete sadomasochists. Like who knows? Like
Right.
one or the other. It's you either hate yourself or you're loyal to the bone. And I think those fans deserve to have a awesome young player to root for. My fear is nothing they do ever seems to go right, except for very small portions of time. And I would be afraid if they got a really great young player that guy's almost just guaranteed to not pan out. Eventually that will change, right? Like that will change. Maybe we'll be dead before it does, but everything eventually flips. But yeah, I'm with you on that one. I'll be, if they get it, I will be hopeful forever that, it goes, well. And somebody just said they had De'Aaron Fox. I mean, they did have De'Aaron Fox for sure. But like De'Aaron Fox was not the number one pick. He was a very good prospect, but this was not a franchise changing kind of guy. Like when he came in, he ended up ultimately playing that way. And I think played himself into that status. And then now he plays for the Spurs next to Wemby, because that's what the Kings do. But yeah, just weird, all around the way they kind of build things out.
A decent amount of the Kings, what their troubles have been self-inflicted, right? I mean, there's no, we're not, don't hear like, they've just fallen on bad luck or anything like that. I'm talking about for Kings fans who have stuck by that team, it's I feel for them for sure.
Yep. Yeah, I'm there. And Bulls fans are, at least most of them, anybody around our age was alive for the good times. So they're not, they can at least pop in those old. I guess nobody has DVDs. And what do you do with those championship DVDs we all used to buy? Like, I guess that's why you hang on to a DVD player, so you can throw those in there.
They're sitting in a case with my CDs, and
it is definitely not something we do quite a bit there.
Keith, I mean, I'm old enough to vividly remember standing in Best Buy trying to decide the Offspring's classic album Smash, if I wanted to buy the CD version or the cassette tape version, which was a few dollars cheaper and would also allow me to buy something else. What that something else is, I don't know, because the Offspring Smash is an absolute classic and an incredible album. But trying to decide between the two now you don't need either one. You just go on whatever streaming platform you want. You go on Spotify, you can listen to the whole thing whenever you want.
My wife just found out today we have my daughter has athletic awards banquet tonight for school. But she just found out today that in Daytona, which is only like an hour away from us, that there's a music festival, and tonight the headline acts are The Offspring and the Foo Fighters. And she was like, "Are you kidding me?" She found out last night, and like she's like, "Is there any way to go?" Then she looked, and I think one of them is scheduled to start their set at 10 o'clock at night, and then the other one comes on after. And I was like, anything that starts after 9:30, like I'm out. I don't even like the game starting at 9:30 when I'm comfortably in the house for the evening.
Dude,
like no
9:30, but that's 6:30. You're talking about 6:30.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, that's 9:30.
That's 6:30. We run off Pacific time. Come on.
I'm 100% out. I do not want to be out of the house that late. Like, forget that.
For Offspring and Foo Fighters,
yeah,
pound
you guys can drinks. Go and let me know how it is. If things start after the time I would prefer to already be getting close to going to bed, I'm out. So yeah.
All right, let's move on to some of this stuff here. We've got here's just a question on Summer League. How do Summer League games tickets work? Do you have to buy each individual game type of thing? No, you buy a ticket for the day.
Yeah,
you buy a ticket for the day. It's really cool in that you buy a ticket for the day. There's two buildings side by side, and there's a passway between them, so you can walk between. So there's oftentimes multiple games going on at once. And you buy a ticket for the day. You could watch every game the entire day if you wanted to, if you so choose. That's the way it works at Summer League.
Yeah, a couple other Summer League tips. Go early, because that's when the better players play, is early in Summer League. By the time you get to the end, guys are not necessarily the main key guys are not always playing. And I would also recommend just look if you're a Lakers fan, obviously you want to go when the Lakers play. But if you're not, you might want to wait. And there's usually teams might play a day or two in a row, then have a day off. If you can, just because it's packed when the Lakers play. Until Las Vegas has a team, the Lakers are Las Vegas's hometown team.
Yeah.
It's just going to be loaded with Laker fans, and it's just simply harder to get tickets. It's got nothing to do with the fact that Laker fans are there. It's just much harder to get tickets.
Which is crazy that this is where we're at with Summer League now, because it wasn't that long ago that, I mean, no problem whatsoever. Just walk up to the ticket counter day of and you can get tickets.
Yeah. And this year with these guys like coming in, and none of the top picks, knock on wood here quietly, so my dogs don't lose their minds. None of these guys are carrying like carryover injuries into Summer League. So this is a loaded draft class, and you got it. Like, I don't know that Cooper Flagg is going to play, or Con Knipple, because those guys were like neck and neck. But a lot of times you get those guys, they make the cameo appearance where it's like play one or two games at Summer League. So it should be awesome this year. I will be out there. Our guy, he put it in the chat. I'm looking for it. Bayal Farkash said, like SBC, like, yeah, I'll be out there again teaching sports business classroom. Here it is. So, and there's our picture from SBC. So you can, we'll be out there, but I'm thinking about coming in town maybe early so that I can catch the Summer League games. The problem is then that means I'm going to be there for like 13 days in Las Vegas, and that's like 12 days too long.
That's a long time.
It's just that is a very long run. I've done Summer League end to end twice in my life, and that was when it was only like 7 days long. Now it's like 10, but yeah, Summer League is the best. If you have an opportunity to go, it is like NBA Comic-Con. There's just everybody is there. Like you said, you have the two buildings are connected by the concourse. You can go back and forth. There's usually anywhere between 8 and 10 games per day between the two buildings. And it's just game goes, runs about 2 hours, and then goes. It's a great opportunity too to see the young players. A lot of the guys will be like available if like people want to get stuff autographed and things like that. Just it is really, really cool. Like it's one of the best things the NBA does.
I will say the basketball isn't always the best.
No. Yeah,
It is,
horrendous.
you're seeing teams that have practiced together a few times and then are going out there on the floor and playing games, but it still can be a lot of fun. There can be just a buzz and excitement. And like Keith said, it's like NBA Comic Con. It is really, really fun.
Yeah, and they
go
do
check out.
like things like, I don't know, let's say the Hornets did send Con Knipple for a couple games. It might be like, hey, we want him to run 30 pick and roll ball handler reps because that's what we're trying to get a look at. And it may be awful. But that's part of what Summer League is for. But then it is fun because then you do get the other guys who are competing super hard because they're trying to get a training camp invite, maybe a two-way spot, maybe even catch on to the end of the standard roster. So yeah, this is a great call too. The jerseys the fans wear to Summer League are always a treat. Like, that's a big part of it too when you're in the gym, is like, oh man, I haven't seen a that jersey in a long time.
Some deep cuts. Deep cuts.
Oh, you were the one who bought that. They must be related to him.
Right. Let's go. We'll go here. Besides the Joker, who are your top centers? Kind of feel like player quality drops really fast.
I'm just gonna start throwing out names. Embiid still.
Sure.
Duran, Jared Allen.
Ivica Zubac. I mean, he's been hurt.
Zubac, Cat.
Do you count Jaren Jackson?
Holmgren. What's that?
Do you count Jaren Jackson?
I don't. I think
he's more of a 4.
Yeah, he's more of a 4.
Yeah,
for me. Oh, Wemby.
Well, I mean, obviously.
Şengün. That center spot's pretty good, actually. Now we're just ripping off names. Rudy Gobert is up there. I'm looking at like depth charts from last year. Porzingis still, like, if he's ever, for the week he's healthy.
Bam.
Yeah, Bam. AD, if you make him play
when he plays.
When he plays. Sabonis. Yeah, I think center spot's fairly good.
Yeah, Cat. Right. I mean, you can just keep going.
Yeah, I think I did say Cat.
Did you say Cat?
Like late, yeah.
All right. If the Cavs crash out again before the conference finals, is this the summer they make some difficult decisions? If so, what would you do? I do think that if this team is too expensive to not be a team that can go win the whole thing. So I think if they do fall short, there's going to be some difficult decisions that are going to have to be made in Cleveland.
Yeah, 100%. One, simply you can't be that expensive and be a team that washes out in the second round at most every year. So you can't be that. That's just simply that part alone starts the process. I think they will break up Mobley and Allen, at least if they lose. And I mean, I know the old saying, series doesn't start till somebody wins on the road, and that's fair. But right now, they don't look good at all. Going into this game 3 against the Pistons, have like really kind of handled them. Not that like they've completely been perfect, but I don't know that Detroit was ever super duper stressed in those games, and that's disappointing if you're the Cavs. Like this should have been the year you should have been better than this.
Yes, absolutely. I thought they had a real chance to make a run here, and they just haven't been able to really put things together. So could they make some significant changes? Yeah, they absolutely could. I mean, any team that is coming up short this year is going to be ripe for making big changes this summer. We talk about, I mean, Houston will probably make some changes. Denver certainly, right? They're going to be making some changes.
Both the Cavs, teams we root for.
What's that?
Both the teams we root for are probably going to look very different going into next year.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think part of it is too, OKC's not going anywhere, and neither are the Spurs.
Yeah.
So now the entire league is playing catch up to those two.
All right, let's go here. The Heat should get a top 4 pick after the Rozier disaster and being compensated with a second rounder. I'm extremely biased and born and raised Heat fan, but still love the show, guys. Keep it up. I mean, they did kind of get the short end of the stick there with the way that whole situation played out. Certainly, had they known about the investigation stuff going on ahead of time, as they probably should have, they're not making the trade that they did.
Yep.
So I don't think that they were made whole from that situation. And that's unfortunate for Miami. I'm not going to look at Miami and say, oh, this is a team that absolutely needs to get a number one pick. We know they're going to be chasing stars. Frankly, if they get a top pick, they could very well wind up trading it.
Yeah.
Maybe that winds up in Milwaukee. We'll see.
Sure.
But that situation, I still think the Heat were not properly compensated for the damage that was done.
I completely agree. And yeah, I would no issue if the basketball gods reward the karma for the Heat with the number one pick. Sure. Yeah, no, I'm gonna lose my mind over that.
Would Cornette be a full-time starter if he brought back his perimeter shooting?
The answer is yes. I think that's very obvious. The challenge is he can't really shoot like that anymore. Is an issue with his shoulder. He talked about it when he was with the Celtics because he made like the anti Brook Lopez transition in his career where Cornette was all jump shots when he was early on. Remember when he was in New York and then like we have the unicorn and the unicornette. Like that's all he did was shoot threes. And then when he kind of went through some stuff and was not really in the league, he reinvented himself as now I just play around the rim. And when he was with the Celtics, they were like, how come you don't ever shoot threes anymore? He talked about he had shoulder issues and his shot is just messed up now and he just really can't.
You're not a 3-point shooter anymore. You've shot your last ball from behind the 3-point line. You're going to have to learn how to play first base.
I have quoted Moneyball so many times this week when people have asked me on various things about the Trailblazers. And I said, yeah, it's like when they're like, why you got to pay for soda? Wants to keep the money on the field. Like, seems like he wants to keep the money on the court. I don't know. So
such a great movie. Such a great movie. I've got a question for both of you gentlemen. You're both GMs. You have to build a championship team. What player profiles for each position do you think wins a chip?
For centers, they have to be able to protect the rim.
Yep.
Like that is a non-negotiable for me. Look at the centers who don't offer anything at rim protection, and their teams generally are not very good, or they have a 4 that does that. But just center needs to be able to protect the rim. I mean, yeah, right. The answer is like, just give me Jokic and Giannis and Luka and Tatum and me, and like we'll probably be fine. Like, sure. but yeah, I like my point guards to be able to get off the ball and play off the ball some. I think now wings are so important. And then really the other 3 positions, I'm gonna go with give me length and shooting ability. Like two-way players. Like that's like I know that's oversimplifying, but
no, you need guys who can play both sides of the ball. And I think one of the things that's underrated now too is having a lot of guys that have the ability, not necessarily to be primary initiators, but having guys that if they do attack a closeout, because their shooting ability requires a closeout, have the ability to put the ball on the floor and then make the correct decision the vast majority of the time, right? And that may mean getting into a jumper, that may mean getting to the rim and scoring, that may mean making the correct read on a drive and kick situation. But once you put a team into a blender, you can't have guys on the floor that then wind up allowing the opponent to recover. You've got to create an advantage and then maintain the advantage. And you're going to need guys out there that can be the initial creators of that advantage, but then everybody else on the floor needs to be able to maintain the advantage. So of course you have to be able to defend at a high level. You have to be able to shoot the ball. Those are prerequisites in today's NBA. Your bigs have to be, you're either a lob threat or a 3-point shooter. You have to be able to protect the rim in either event, but you need everybody else on the floor as well to be a quality decision maker if you're going to really be able to get to the level that you need to be at.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there is a I just want general profile. I want people who are high basketball IQ guys that just know how to play. And you can do, because I think what you have to do now is you have to be able to play multiple ways. If you lock into just this is what we always do on defense, this is what we always do on offense, you better be really elite at those things and getting to them. Otherwise, you're just going to give yourself trouble. I want to be able to be a multiple kind of team that is just, I can change some stuff up.
All right.
Yeah, dirty work guys for sure. Rebounding. Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
yeah, you're definitely, but that's got to be, that's something that boxes that you'll have to check within those skill sets that we're talking about. You'll need guys who can obviously do those things, who are going to hustle, who are going to fight. Like some of it too is a mental makeup of the team type of situation. You know, which guys are willing to really fight through and do what they need to do and be mentally tough to go out there and win games. There's that element of it too. And that can be kind of an indefinable quality for teams. But you know those teams that have it, that hey, they're down 4 with a minute to play in a big time playoff game. This is the type of team that we think is going to execute in that situation. And these are the types of guys that are going to crumble, because there is a difference between those two things. And you've got to have guys that are the former and not the latter.
Yep, absolutely.
Please do a live show again for the draft lottery.
Yeah, was going to throw that out there to everybody. Let us know in the comments if you guys are interested. We did this last year. We did a watch along. We had a lot of fun because it was like, oh my God, it's Dallas and San Antonio still there. And we kind of lost our minds live together with you guys. We won't be able to show it on screen through through here, but it's easy enough that you can
all react together.
ESPN will have it on ESPN live streaming as well as on ESPN just regular TV. So
I do play-by-play for the games, and nobody can see the game on my screen. Will be a second screen experience. Is Rui a player the Lakers need to retain? He's been super efficient and healthy the past 2 postseasons.
Need to retain? No. If the right deal is there, sure. I don't think it's, and we've talked about this a lot. The Lakers can have a ton of cap space this summer, somewhere in the range of 48-50 million or so. That doesn't mean everybody has to go, right? Like some guys can come back beyond just like re-signing Austin Reaves. So I think there's a world where Rui returns, probably on a contract that's roughly the same ish, within a couple $1 million either way. But I think it's going to be, that would be we clear the decks, we do our big stuff, then we kind of we now made our couple big moves. Now we've got Rui. What do we want to kind of do? And I think that's how you kind of approach it.
I agree. I think he's definitely been really good. I mean, he's the NBA's all-time leader in playoff 3-point percentage. Like is
that true?
Which is a crazy stat.
That's wild.
Yeah, right.
You could have given me 100 guesses, and I probably wouldn't have got to Rui.
Wouldn't have got Rui Hachimura, right? But he's been fantastic scoring the basketball. The challenge is what you really need alongside a player like Luka is in part what Rui provides, and that is the very, very high level. I mean, 3 years straight of being a 50-40 guy plus. Yeah. That's really damn impressive.
Yep.
The challenge is you also need guys who are going to defend at a very high level, are super switchy, are the kind of dirty work type of players. That's what you need alongside Luka. And Rui doesn't check those boxes. So he checks some boxes, but you're going to have to find some other things for the roster as well. So it's a matter of, if you're going to retain him, it's a matter of making sure that you can also bring in players who can fill those other roles that you're going to need. But Rui has been great. He is, I've said it a bunch of times, he is elite at what he does. And if he did the things well that he doesn't do well, then he's like a 30 million plus player, sure. Right? But he is extremely good at the things that he does well. And to his credit, that has been, he's worked a ton on it, but it's his 3-point shooting, it's his mid-range shooting. He's been absolutely phenomenal at that.
Yeah, I think a lot too depends on like what else do you do with the roster, right? If you go out and sign 2 other forwards, then maybe Rui's out, right? Like it just might, at some point you have to balance your roster to some extent. You can't just load up in one position and just call it good. Otherwise you're gonna have trouble, especially if injuries hit. So, but yeah, he's an interesting free agent this summer just because it's not a great free agent class and he is an actual free agent. So I'm curious to see how that plays out.
You guys got any good Mother's Day gift ideas?
Yeah.
Gift card.
Yeah. Gift card to like her favorite restaurant or where she likes to shop, I guess. I don't know. My mom is impossible to shop for at this point. So that's what we do. We just do gift cards to places and then hope for the best. And then I remind my sister who lives right down the street from them, like, hey, mom has a gift card here, make her go to this restaurant at some point.
I would. I went with the classic flowers, and I figure you can't go wrong there.
In our family, I don't know. I don't think I've ever even told you this. My dad's parents owned a greenhouse and florist shop. So like that's how like my dad grew up, and like I did my first jobs, like because you know how like when your parents own a business, like you're basically unpaid child labor for them at various times, was like doing various things around the greenhouse and the fields and all that stuff. And it's that is like that's like in my family that's become almost like a like cop out thing, because it's like you could have had these whenever you wanted in the house. So now it's become like we don't really do it. But we did give her, when they moved, we got her like a Home Depot gift card because she wanted to plant flowers all around the house. So she did do that.
All right, JT said, what big man or guard should the Hawks realistically target this offseason? Whoever they get with the number 1 pick.
There it is. Well, that was easy.
There you go.
Yeah, big man. I like, they definitely got to get more size. That is, they cannot roll back with just a Kongwu. I would keep Landale. He's probably gonna come be a minimum guy. So I'd try to keep him around. It's gonna sound weird because he just did not play well in the postseason, but I think Vooch could kind of help them. Just give them a different look. I think a lot of times if I have one kind of center, I want my other center to be like a different type player. Hartenstein, sure, but Hartenstein's probably gonna be way too expensive unless they go the cap space route. Like that's probably too much. But yeah, I mean, if they go the cap space route, I wouldn't mind them throwing a bunch of money at Hartenstein if he wants, if he's actually available.
The Hawks are a team that were interested in Anthony Davis during the season. Then obviously his injury derailed that. So they're going to be in the market for a big. It'll be interesting to see what they ultimately do. I don't think they have to go break the bank. I wouldn't mind, like, if you can get Robert Williams to be not your starter, but to be in your rotation. I think that could be a nice get for them. Do you want to go and try to add do you want to go try to cobble together a trade for an AD or something like that?
Sure.
I don't know about going that far, but you could add a couple of pieces here at the center position and could be in a good situation. Like, do they wind up being a team that, engages the Mavericks on Daniel Gafford? I'm not saying Gafford's definitely available, but could they be, but that type
of idea.
That kind of idea.
I think Yusuf Nurkic could be interesting. He actually played really well. I know like it was a lot of like whatever with the Jazz for a lot of the year, but he had a really nice season, especially offensively. There's defensive limitations, but my thought is Okongwu is now more or less entrenched as the starter, unless you got somebody better than him. That's only going to happen through trade, and that's going to be like, honestly, if you're getting somebody better than him, he's probably moving in the trade. Then you got to figure it out. But if Okongwu was my starter, like, I wouldn't mind Nurkic behind him, and then Landale as my third guy. Like, that's a pretty solid center group that I'd be okay starting off the year with.
This question, just real quick answer here. Would it be possible for the Lakers to sign Rui to an extension before free agency hits? Yeah, he's extension eligible all through the end of June. So right up until free agency starts.
Yeah, and sometimes those are the ones that's just worth reminding everybody now that free agency starts at 6 p.m. Eastern. We get it where, like, you'll hear, let's just use Rui Hachimura back to the Lakers for whatever the terms are. And then people like us are like, is that an extension or is this a new contract that he's signing? And it doesn't matter to 99.9% of people. It's just Rui back to the Lakers for whatever the money is. But there are reasons we need to know and track and all that stuff. And that's just a weird period of time for about 6 hours there.
And you could get, just pick a day, June 25th, we could get word and people will be like, wait a minute. Does this, free agency doesn't start. Is this allowed? That you're going to have that kind of a response? But when a player is extension eligible, you can get an extension right before free agency officially begins. So that's something that That can happen, has happened.
Yeah, they could sign Rui to an extension today if they want.
Yeah, if they want it could happen right
no
now,
restrictions
right this second. If they,
yep.
If they
and then it's the other part too is with that is anybody who's a pending free agent, their teams can start negotiating with them the day after the finals. So if the finals ends on June 25th, June 26th, they can start negotiating with their own players.
Yeah,
it's only other teams' players, and we all know how that works too.
Where you'd run afoul of the league is if it's again June 25th and it's Mitchell Robinson to the Orlando Magic, something
that would be yes.
That's where you'd run into issues with the NBA.
And they've been a lot better about that over the last couple of years. Once the league started throwing around a couple hefty fines for those things, and a couple teams lost draft picks, everybody's like, all right, everybody just shut up for an extra day. Like we can all stay quiet here. It was the one that was insane was that Bogdanovich one, which was a really complicated 3-team trade that involved a restricted free agent and a sign-in trade. And it came out like almost a week ahead. And I was like, guys, you're not even trying to hide it.
No, that was pretty brazen.
Yeah.
Keith, would you rather have Austin Reaves at $30 million or Donovan Mitchell at $47 million?
Donovan Mitchell at 47. It's not a big enough difference. Yeah, either way, you're going to be a capped out team and probably up around the tax and the aprons. And Donovan Mitchell's just a better player. I love Austin Reaves, but if it was Austin Reaves at 20 million,
that gets you maybe to Blake. But yes, because you're thinking, what player could you get with the remaining? Let's say even if you were just a cap space team, what could that remaining 17 million get you? Okay, well, it's probably getting you a player that maybe you're you're warding off some MLE teams by offering a little bit more than an MLE, right? Than a non-taxpayer MLE. Is that player that you're getting in addition to Austin Reaves enough to make up the gap between Austin Reaves and Donovan Mitchell? Probably not. Not.
Yep.
All right. How does Denver get Evan Mobley? I think the short answer is they don't.
Yeah, that'd be really hard. Like the Cavs are going to want a ton back for him. So unless you're we're going to break up major chunks of our core, like Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown and whatever, which then I don't know if the Cavs want to do that. And then other than that, you're talking Jamal Murray doesn't really make sense for Cleveland because presumably they would still have Mitchell in this situation. So I don't. And obviously Jokic isn't going to happen.
Yeah. In fact, I think the Nuggets just did a presser a little bit ago about basically everyone but Jokic is available.
Yeah, which makes sense. Just pull this. Peyton Pritchard, $7 million. Can't find a better contract than that. Agreed. That's why AR getting paid so much still feels kind of like a bad contract. Well, a couple things. One, so much of what guys get paid are circumstances. He's just a free agent now when the Lakers have the ability to pay him and still go get a whole bunch of other guys if they want to. And Austin Reaves is a better player than Peyton Pritchard. He's just a better all-around player. We have seen Austin Reaves run an offense by himself at times that is still really, really good. We've never seen Peyton Pritchard do that.
Right.
So, that's nothing against Pritchard. He's an incredible value on $7 million.
For sure.
Yeah, but
for sure. Will the front office team be at Summer League? Yes. Now that Boston is out, assuming Lakers as well, do you guys have the weighted Trev Keith GM trade? If you were GMs for Boston and the Lakers, love the show. I can't wrap my head around that. You
gotta let the man's season actually be
that's the kind of thing I could dive in in August or something like that. We talk about it all the time, but the general public the non-basketball public especially has the misperception that when the season ends, suddenly everything just opens up and we've got tons and tons of time, when it is the exact opposite. We are busier when the season ends for about a month and a half. We're busier once the season ends than we are even during the season, which is saying a lot because we're very busy during the season. But when we get into free agency, we get into trade season, we get into the draft, summer league, everything else, there is a sprint of about 5-6 weeks there that is maybe the only thing that compares is like the week of the trade deadline in terms of how busy we are.
Yeah. And it is like, for me, I've already transitioned to, it's all the offseason setup work and preview work and all that stuff, getting everything ready to go. So that's got me busy. I mean, I get where he's coming from, but your season is still going. You're actively covering a playoff team. So like that is happening. So yeah, it's tough, but that's probably gonna have to be an August show, which honestly would be great. So I've been making a little list. I'll add it to the list of August topics. But what we'll do it as if, like, all right, both teams have their roster set with whatever they are, because by August rosters are mostly done, and then we'll do it as if we have to do it by the trade deadline or something.
August is the worst. I hate that month so much. August and September.
Yeah, it's so funny because I put all these things where I'm like, I'm gonna work on that in August, or I'm gonna watch these movies in August, and somehow I still never end up doing it. Yeah,
stupid.
It's just the month just goes disappearing, and then I don't know what to do.
It's the end of summer-ish. You know what I mean? Like, you've got that. There's no basketball, at least no NBA basketball anyway.
Yeah.
Stupid.
School August starts here.
Yeah. Would you consider Jaylen Brown and Austin Reaves sign and trade? I mean, from a Lakers perspective, sure. I can't see the Celtics doing that.
No. Yeah,
that wouldn't be.
Yeah, there would need to be other value coming Boston's way.
Yeah, the Lakers, I'm sure, would jump at that. The Celtics would not.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown would be interesting with Luka. Maybe
he would be
interesting pairing, but yeah,
he might have his favorite season ever. Michael Scott Paper Company, who had a great 6-week run.
Yeah,
the Michael Scott Paper Company. They got Dunder Mifflin to blink, to cave in, to buy them out, and then put everything back exactly the way that it was before that. I saw Stephen A. and Skip complaining about LeBron today again. Yeah, it's because it's made them millions of dollars by complaining about LeBron James.
Yeah.
Who is the next guy after LeBron retires? Luka will be enemy number one. Yeah, I've always wondered about that. If your whole thing is in either way, if your sports existence revolves around supporting or hating, and unfortunately, there's way too many people that are in that latter category now, where their whole existence is based around hating one specific player, or supporting one player. What happens when that? Do you draw names out of? Is it like the Sorting Hat in Harry Potter, and you get designated for a new player? How do you pick it? How do you pick who the new? Because I've been a Lakers fan my entire life. You've been a Celtics fan your entire life. Like that, players are going to come, players are going to go. 10 years from now, still be, God willing, still around. I'll just be a Lakers fan, right? What do you do when you are a player fan and your guy retires? How do you choose another player? I'm fascinated by this.
Yeah, especially if, like you said, especially if your whole thing is built around them. Now, if it's, I mean, you could probably still get a lot out of LeBron just if you like him. Because, I mean, look, we still have people posting MJ and Kobe stuff, and they haven't played in forever. And it's like those accounts are still wildly popular with people. But yeah, if you're a big media person, I don't know. You're right. I don't know. Does it just come to you in a dream? And it's like, okay, I hate this guy now.
Revealed to you.
I kind of don't think it's Luka. Here's the only reason why. Luka is a super duper star for basketball, but I don't know that he has the outside of basketball appeal. For example, when he got traded to the Lakers, my mom called him Luke Donald because she didn't know. She's like, everybody here, they just moved to the Dallas area. She's like, everybody here in Dallas is really mad because they traded Luke Donald away to the Lakers. And I was like, Luka Doncic. I think Luke Donald is a golfer. But that just gives you, but my mom knows who LeBron is. She knows that, who LeBron is.
But could being a Laker change that for Luka?
Yeah, maybe. The other part is he's not an American, and I don't that's just, they already hate all of the non-Americans those guys do anyway, because they're ruining basketball. So it's which is just dumb and ignorant as it is to just hate on LeBron for no reason. But yeah, I don't know. I'd have to really think about it. Maybe we don't have him yet. Maybe it'll be, I don't know. Wemby maybe. Like he feels like he could transcend everybody, and the guy also has to be good enough, right? Like has to be playing for titles and failure to win titles and all of that.
So. I firmly, then they have to be good enough to hate. Yeah. Right. That's a big part of it too, because you have to have people on both sides. You can't just be the people that like the guy. You also have to have a large percentage of the people that hate on the guy that are anti that play. The heel turn, I think it's already starting for Wemby. It's coming by next year. By the end of next year, Wemby will be one of the most disliked players in the NBA.
Yeah, that's exactly how it goes. Yeah. Yep, everybody loves Stephen Curry until the Warriors started winning all the time. Then a whole bunch of people were like, "I hate that dude." Like
you die a hero, or you live long enough to become the villain. That's coming. The comments in his pressers and stuff will grow tiresome. The goaltending, the fouls, things like that. People will start getting upset with that sort of stuff. That's definitely coming with Wemby and the Spurs in general, and that is very normal in sports.
Yep, this guy's comment, that's the culture. I see movie review podcast crash out on every movie being made like they're all trash. Folks revel in being negative. It's easier. Yeah. It's also not cool to admit you like things for whatever reason.
It's rage bait, right?
Yeah,
it's go on there and talk about how bad something is and get other people to go, yeah, you know what? Yeah. I don't like that thing too.
I hate you because I love that thing. Yeah. And you're wrong. Like, well, it's what was the old Howard Stern thing, right? People who love him listen for 5 minutes. People who hate him listen for 15. Right? Like that. Now that was a little different because he was doing a different kind, but it's the same sort of idea. Like I have friends who every day watch those shows and they're like, did you see this? And I'm like, no, I don't watch those shows simply because I don't even believe them. Like I don't even think they truly believe the things they're saying. It's all done for reactions.
It's just dramatizing things. That's it. It's you see it a lot politically with you see it on YouTube, but even on television you see it. If it's a station that leans left, they spend a lot of time talking about this is what the right is doing, and can you believe this that they're doing, and believe that isn't this insane? And if it's a station that leans right, it's the opposite. It's look at this. I think these people they spend most of their time talking about the other side. Why? Because people are going to get riled up and get angry and want to sound off about that and react to those sorts of things. So it's an unfortunate reality of the way things are. Now, that said, Keith, I have also spent over the last few days, I have spent more time than I ever should have processing in my brain what the hell is happening with the boys and why the plot has just flown off the rails and characters are doing things that make no sense. And I'm like, I shouldn't be like hating on this so much in my mind. I need to focus on other stuff for a little bit.
I gave up on the boys when they, spoiler alert I think this happened like 5 years ago. They brought back that lady was a superhero, but they found out she was a Nazi, but then she was killed, but somehow still alive. And then I was like, I can't. I was like, I'm like that shows a lot. It's a lot to take. It was funny because my friend was like, you'll put the boys on. And he goes, and I think for most people, if it was for you or not, like 5 minutes in when he runs through the guy's girlfriend.
Yeah. And he's just left holding her hands there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this show? And I stuck around for a little while out of morbid curiosity, but I stepped out of that one.
As somebody who watched the entire run of Supernatural, like I watched the entire thing.
Oh, jeez. It was like a 20-year show.
I'm talking about literally when it first came out, because I was like, oh, this is cool. This is going to be about monsters. Awesome. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm talking about when the show debuted, not like watched it on Netflix or something. Like for years, watched that. I felt it was like, because it's the same showrunners and the same actors and all of that. I felt kind of like it was a requirement for me to watch it.
Yeah.
But man, I'm like, especially the last episode, I'm like, they took so many things that it took me out of it watching the show, where I'm like, that character would never do that or never say that. That made no sense. Anyway, but like I said, You can get caught up in all of that negativity too
Yeah,
much,
for sure. Yeah.
and people will wind up just watch that repeat. But that's part of getting people to tune in and pay attention and everything. And so that's where you get situations like that where people will base their entire existence around hating a person or a thing or whatever.
Speaking of since we're on the topic of comic related TV shows, Daredevil, 2 thumbs up for me. Like, I loved this season.
I have not been. I was thinking about staying awake longer and watching the finale last night. I didn't. I haven't watched it yet. All I've seen from the reactions online have been about how great it is, and I can't. Maybe tonight I'll get to it, but I can't wait. Daredevil has been very, very good.
And, and it puts it in a great place. Yeah, they're coming back for a 3rd season. They announced too, so that's it's. Yeah, I think it goes into a pretty cool place the way it goes down. So
yeah,
and then now it's like curious to see how it goes forward from here. And they've got some of those characters are popping up. I think some of them popped up in the Spider-Man trailer and stuff.
Yeah, I saw Punisher was in the Spider-Man trailer.
And his one-off, like, sounds like it's more like a movie length episode of a television show that's coming out soon too. So I don't remember when that is, but yeah.
All right.
Is it next week? Somebody just said Punisher is next week.
Is it?
I'm excited for that.
Like, that's cool. I didn't realize it was next. Yeah. I've been, a little
busy.
With other
stuff. I put it. It's funny when I see dates on those things, I put them on my calendar because I don't remember anything. So then that way, when I'm like setting up each day and setting up the week, it's like, here we are with that. So, I'm just looking to see where is like. There were any other basketball questions where it was just a lot of
we haven't spun the wheel yet, have we?
Oh yeah, we got to do that. Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay. And then let's finish with that. Let's spin the wheel before we wind up going further down the superhero pop culture rabbit hole here. Let's go here. We've got.
Oh, we had a Twitter question too, but we'll save it for next week.
Okay. Next week. All right, let's go right here. We'll spin the wheel, and this is it. Keith, this is our final spin.
Yeah, this is it. Last one.
The fate of the NBA universe in our hands.
This is it, guys. Here. This decides it right here. This
is it. As soon as this is done, I'm screenshotting it. I'm sending it to Uncle Adam, and that's it. He's going to make it happen. All right, here we go. Perfect. Here we go. Best of luck to everybody.
Okay, not bad.
Oh no! Oh no, Milwaukee! Oh no, wait! Atlanta also. The Pels also moved up. I went from the bottom up, and I saw Milwaukee moved up, but the Pels moved up too. Okay, they're fine. Milwaukee moves into the top 4.
Washington keeps the first pick.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's all right. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
Did you see Chad Buchanan, the Pacers comments about like the pick?
No.
They asked him like I'll boil it down to, I think what the real question is, like, do you want to keep the pick or are you like worried about losing it? Like, where is that at? And he was like, and he said, well, of course, we'd love to have the pick. That's why we top 4 protected it and all that. He goes, now on the plus side, if we do lose it, it frees up picks we can trade later. He's like, then we don't have picks encumbered down the line. So it was interesting. And then he went into actual people like our show. I recommend looking it up. Hoops Rumors did a really good recap of the conversation. I think Dustin Dopriak, I think that's how you say it, from the Indy Star, put it together as well. What was really good was he talked a lot about how like it's not as simple as just get the pick. The pick then comes with a $10+ million cap hit. That'll put us in the luxury tax. That's going to cause us to have to look at other things. Like, he really went into really good detail of it. And if people like this show, you'd probably would like it.
That's interesting. Definitely.
OKC did not get dropped. Somebody said OKC dropped. That's where the Clippers pick slots.
Yeah. OKC at 12 and stay there. OKC.
Let's just do this real quick just to end it. This comes up every year. I get it. I get why people say it. But I'm going to tell you, go look at my Twitter timeline. I retweeted all the people who are on the stage, the people from the teams who are in the room, and the media that are in the room. You guys saw Pablo Torre, what it has done for him, breaking the Kawhi Leonard news. Every single media member that is in that room would love to be the one to break the story of actually the draft lottery is rigged. It would be virtually impossible for them to rig it with the way they actually do it. People say, why don't they actually show it? They show it after. They don't show it because it's boring, and they do it in order of first pick, second pick. No one would watch. People would watch the first pick, and then they'd shut it off. So they'd be like, okay, I don't really care, after that. I mean, we would watch, but that's why they go backwards with it. So they do it live in front of a whole bunch of people that have no reason to keep that secret, as well as banking companies and security companies that if it got out, it would literally end their business. So it's on the level. Like, it's just, teams would not teams. People say why would anybody have signed up for Dallas to get him last year? Right. Why would any other team be complicit in that? Right. It's just not. I know people think it is, but it really, it just isn't. It's weird. Why 3 p.m. on a Mother's Day Sunday? We already covered that because they want us all to be divorced and hanging out together. So, the real reason is ESPN wants it as a lead into their game, and they don't have a game at the beginning part of the week. And they have to get it done because it needs to be done there. So,
All right, everybody.
There it is.
We appreciate you joining. Make sure you do hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Have a great weekend, and we'll see with the draft lottery on Sunday.
Yeah, we'll see you on Sunday. I'll be here live at least. We'll set it up, and Trev, you can join me. You're more than welcome. Sure. But we'll watch the lottery together live, and we'll react to it and figure it all out. And I'll give you my first 10 picks after that or whatever I think it should be. So
sounds
we'll
good.
Have some fun with it.
All right, everybody. Till next time. See ya and stay safe.